We should call the meeting to order real quick.
Okay, I call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the
flag,
flag
United States of America, and
and
to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Are there any emergency additions or modifications to the agenda? I hear nothing. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda for today?
Yep.
And is there a motion to approve? Well, wait a minute. I guess we got to go to the minutes.
We have to approve the agenda first.
That's my agenda.
It's an action item.
Yep, it is an action item. I'm sorry. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion we approve the agenda.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. We'll call the roll.
That's the problem.
I don't.
Adam, are you going to call the roll?
I can.
Okay.
Member Norris,
Aye.
Member Gooden,
Aye.
Member Burkett,
Present.
Member Hook,
Aye.
Member Hooper,
Aye.
and Member Teufel.
Aye.
All right. It's unanimous.
Thank you. Let's look at the minutes of the April 14th, 2021 meeting.
I can bring them up if anybody needs to see them, or does anybody have?
Yeah, could you do that? Yeah, I don't, yeah, that would be great.
Does anybody have a question about any of the minutes?
Here are the minutes from our April 14th meeting.
Is it possible to make your screen a little bigger, Adam? Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
All right, so we had the call to order. No, we have approval, no emergency additions, approval of the minutes from our October 2020, which seems like a lifetime ago, as well as the February. We had a brief discussion about the policies and procedures. Kate Wilson resigned from the committee. We discussed future agenda items, the gym, foyer, and windows, still on there. An aquatic center update regarding the overall master plan and all of that. Other renovation projects. Trees, and the public library. We were done.
It was a fairly quick meeting, as I recall.
It was very quick.
I feel like this says I was there, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't there. I guess not. It says member Hooper requested something. I guess I was having an out-of-body experience. Forgive me.
I remember you being there.
It says you subsequently arrived, so I'm guessing you were a couple
You
minutes
came in a
late.
little
There we go. Okay, yeah, I came in late. Okay.
I think that was, I remember that, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, any concerns or questions, or do we want a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I second.
Well, wait, I can't make the motion, I don't think, can I?
Oh, I thought you just did.
No,
No,
I said, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Okay.
Would somebody like to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Kara. Second?
I'll second
I
it.
sec,
Thank you. Roll call, Adam?
Member Norris,
Aye.
Member Gooden,
aye.
Member Burkett,
Aye, sorry, it's having trouble.
all right, Member Hook,
I,
Member Hooper,
Oops. Aye.
and Member Teufel.
I wasn't present. Should I abstain?
No, you've had a chance to review them, so you
Yeah,
can,
just to
Okay.
review.
you can do either one.
Okay.
You can either abstain
Okay,
or-
aye, that's fine. Aye.
Thank you.
All right. I do have one public comment.
Yes. Would you like me to read it, Adam?
Sure, go ahead. That'd be great.
Yeah, this is a public comment. I think this is the first public comment we've had for a while.
It is.
Here's the public comment. I would like to thank each member of the COC for serving in this much-needed role for our community. It means so much to know that our Ojai community is supporting our district with these bond measures, but it takes a special member to step up and spend their free time to ensure the district is spending funds properly. This service gives the community assurances that all is well, and this certainly helped us in passing a second bond this year. I would also like to thank Adam Dutter and Alan White for their wonderful work in keeping our projects moving forward, advising the district, and presenting the information in a concise, clear way. We are lucky to have you all. Jane Weil, OUSD Board President.
here, yeah.
Now, thank
That's good.
Neil for the-
Could I get a copy of for the minutes? Is that possible?
Sure. Adam, you want to give that to him?
Yes, I can actually forward that to you, Daryl.
Okay.
I appreciate it, Adam.
Everybody pat yourself on the back.
We're done. Okay, the next item is a review of the 2019-2020 Measure J audit report.
I will,
That was sent around to us. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at it?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions about it?
Yeah, this is John Hook speaking. I saw that there was the completion of these districts enable the district to focus its resources on the remaining J project. And I noticed that on page 4, it lists fund balance ending 16,142. And then on page 9, it lists $13,971.66. $13,971,615. There's a discrepancy. Is that mean that you've allocated all the money and it's spent? It just hasn't been cleared, and you'll have about 4,000, which you said you were going to have extra.
so
as a push.
the 17 in question there is, that was as of June 30th, 2020, which was the fund balance. The 13 million in question here goes to potential remaining construction commitments by site. So yes, there is a fund balance technically, because I'm not sure if we discussed it last time. I think we did, but how we have, now that we have Measure K, we haven't allotted all the money in Measure J, because as some of the Measure K projects come in, the remaining funds from Measure J will kick off Measure K essentially.
So you said they were cooperation between the two bonds, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
I would like to, there's a lot of, legal jargon in here about, why they do it. the audit to make sure, you know, we're all doing everything that as a district and as bond managers that we are supposed to be doing. So there's two things I would like to point out that are pretty, I would say I'm proud of, is that the first one here, it says that you can all see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Get enlarged.
Yes.
There you go.
Right here, you can see that they did a sampling of over 50% of our total expenditures, which previous year they did 30. And so I'll touch on that once we get to the annual report, but that's up 20% from the previous year that they went through and sampled. So which is great that they actually are sampling, you know, over half of our expenditures. And at the page 22 or 24 here, well, it's technically page 17, but 22 of the document is the conclusion, and that you know, Ohio Unified is properly accounted for the expenditures held. Such expenditures were made for the bond projects. Also noted the funds in the Measure J are expended by the district were used for salaries only to the extent that they perform administrative oversight on the construction project. So that's nice to see that they're sampling over half of our expenditures, and that as a district, we're doing everything properly.
I would suggest that, in that, I think those are two interesting things, and that those two quotes be put in our minutes.
Say that again?
I think those two quotes Adam just talked about are pretty significant, and I think they should be highlighted and put in the minutes of our meeting.
And they were in the report, or is that, I can pull it from the report. I'm just trying to figure out which to pull. The
Page-
conclusions?
Page 16 and page 17, yes.
16, it's where they indicated that they, where is it?
Sample over half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's number 3 on the methodology, and then the conclusion, which I think, you know, I agree with Adam that those are pretty significant items. And I think that we should, I mean, I would propose that the minutes or the
Okay.
committee recognize that and put it in our minutes.
And I'll snip those out, Daryl, as well, and send them to you, but they are in the report.
Okay, appreciate it, Adam. Thank you. I'm not Kathy, so, but I'll do my best.
That's all right. None of us are. Any other questions on the audit report? It's not an action item, it's an informational item, but obviously it's in our annual report. So, and again, it's a little odd because we are working, you know, we're always working a year behind when they go through and check out all the expenditures and everything, but
I don't know how important the line is, but the district is not currently a party to any legal proceedings. So you're home free.
that is always good.
That's always nice, yes. Does anybody else have any questions on the audit report? Okay, then I think we should turn to the next action item, which is the bond report to the community, which I guess is a draft report at this point. Is that right, Adam?
So this report is actually, this is our final report, assuming that, and I'll bring it up in just a second here. I'm just switching screens. This is actually our final report, assuming nobody has any objections. This is the same report that we reviewed last 2 months ago.
Correct.
And the only thing we were waiting for was actually the audit report, because it does need to be included in our report. The board has seen the full audit report, not just ours, but the district's audit report. So assuming there's no issues with the bond report, this will be presented for formal approval at the board meeting next Wednesday on the 16th. I would say the only thing, I caught two errors that I can fix on our end, but it can still be approved, is this link right here. There's a break in it, and so when you can't click on the bottom one, when you click on the top, it doesn't take you anywhere. So it should be one constant link. That takes us to the actual audit report that's on the OUSD website.
Did we receive this, this full report?
Yes, it's in the agenda as well.
Okay.
Yes, it came in we got a second send on it from Kathy that said like, this note is twofold and it has all the documents.
Oh,
attached.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's part of that, that's part of that package that we got.
So
Okay. It does.
And just to clarify, I didn't originally receive that. I don't know why, but I did get the agenda and found the links so I can currently access them. But I was missing the package in my inbox until Jen forwarded it to me.
okay,
But I have it now.
we'll make
I'm sorry, just to be clear, there was several attachments. This is the one that's the ballot measure full text.
This is the bond report to the community, which
Okay.
This is our annual
Okay.
report as a COC.
Okay. I'm just, okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No
If
problem.
you're in the agenda, it's linked in the agenda.
Okay. Got it. I got it. Thanks.
Is the reason, Adam, that there's no amounts on page 2 and then somewhere else because you just wait to fill those into the very last second?
I think they're in there in the copy I have, they're in there.
The original report that we discussed in April, they were not, but the one in your agenda, the link in the agenda does have the actual amounts. But yeah, that is why in the original, the draft agenda that we did in April, we didn't put those in because we were waiting for the latest and greatest.
Okay, so this email I've been working from through this whole meeting is dated June 5th. It's from Kathy Smith. It has all the attachments. Is there another more recent email?
I think that's the one I'm working from too. So I think
The one
that's a
I
good
have from June 5th has a draft of the citizens report with no dollar amounts in it. So I don't know if one has been sent since then, but I didn't get it.
Okay. Yeah, there has not been one since.
Okay.
Since.
So that attachment that we got on that date, the final bond report on page 2 says Measure J expenditures during the fiscal year 2018-2019 reporting period were, and then it just says $. And then on the next page, it says from Measure J's start in 2015 until April 2020, approximately $. Has been paid.
Yeah.
Let me just stop for a
And
second.
maybe,
We were all sent a link to a shared link, which had all the documents for today's meeting in it.
Yeah, I think I just read, Kara, what you said, and that does not sound like a final. If you go to the agenda and follow the link, then it's a more final version because it says to 2015 to 2021, and then there's a $27,396,072 on page 2 there. So it sounds like you're looking at a earlier version.
that would have been the draft.
Yeah, that would have been the draft.
Adam, was that email?
I just want to make sure because it says final bond report. That's what it's labeled, and I don't have any links to maybe Heather, you can forward me whatever Jen sent you, because I don't seem to have any links.
You have the agenda?
Yes,
Then the link, there's a link on the agenda, I believe.
In the agenda, yeah.
I've just been clicking document to document as we're moving, so, okay.
Yeah, Jen sent me the agenda.
There was Kathy sent out a Google Drive.
Yeah, there's a
And it was
Google
all-
Drive that had all 6 documents in it. Did everybody get that, Adam?
I believe so. Yeah, Kathy sent that one out, but I believe so, but I can double check later to make sure everybody's on it, but
See, I've got it right here. Yeah.
so the other correction, I guess, that I have for the bond report, aside from this link with the break in it for some reason, is right here, the firm audit, it's 30%, and that is obviously 50.6%. So I will update that as well before it goes to the board.
If someone could forward me whatever they're working from, I'd be really grateful, because whatever I have here doesn't seem to be up to date.
Kara, I just forwarded you the agenda that Jen sent me. If you scroll down in the email, there's a link that says to the agenda. And the link, I think what Adam was referring to in there that says the documents are posted on the school board website, that seems to be broken. But the link to
That's
the
what,
agenda,
yeah.
yeah, the link to the agenda works. And then once you're in the agenda, there's links to the reports.
Thank you.
No problem. So just to understand, so the audit report itself, the past item is a done deal. It was approved by the board. It's informational. This report, however, this is our opportunity to provide input in case there's any modifications before this is finalized at the next board meeting.
Correct. So, yes, it is. Because it does need to be done before June, so that's why we were waiting. The audit report took longer than it has in past due to, I guess, the audit team working remotely mainly. So yeah, we can run through the report again though, just real quick. That way everybody kind of sees what we're doing. Here's just obviously the overall who's on the COC. Here's and then this reviews obviously the expenditures. The fiscal year expenditures, again, we're always working a year behind. This discusses obviously the audit and the firm that was tasked of doing the audit. Here's the 130%, but it does say obviously that there were no exceptions that were reported, and all proceeds are expended for the purposes set forth of Measure J. That's the link to the audit report that's already on the current OUSD website, and I will fix that link. And then this takes another link to the website, which has all the projects. And then here's where it discusses the DSA review. As you guys will remember, there were 31 projects that were open from as far back as I think the mid 80s, I want to say, that have been cleared up, with the exception of the Nordhoff one, which will be cleared up as soon as the library is completed on DSA.
Which is probably 30 days from completion right now.
Correct. And then we'll be current on, we'll have closed out all old DSA open projects, as well as obviously we're currently closing out our new projects. So future staff does not have this issue. Yes.
There appears to be a typo. That one shouldn't be capitalized in paragraph B1, should it?
Got it. Thank you. Good catch.
I have a question. My understanding was that the board approved a project for the renovation of the Matilah Library back in September that was supposed to be used with Measure J funds, but I don't see that listed here as in the works.
The board didn't approve the project. We just went to them as, this is a project we're working on. Do you guys want us to keep rolling? And they said yes, obviously, and we are. We're in the midst of, we have a local architect, Martin Hartman's actually working on that project with us.
Right.
And we're going through floor plan, furnishings, and that stuff. And then once we get to that point, we bid the project, and then the board will formally approve that project at that time.
Will it go through Measure J funds or Measure K?
More than likely, it'll be Measure J.
Okay.
It's not a extremely extensive project. It's we're calling it the library refresh, but it is definitely bringing it up to modern standards.
Yeah, is there I mean, because the things you mentioned, Martin presented at that meeting in September.
Yes.
So is there a reason that 9 months later, not anything's changed in there?
We've had to tweak the design a little bit. We had to review some of the ADA path of travels, and and there was some HVAC stuff that we had to tweak the design slightly due to avoid some extremely costly renovations, and frankly, furnishings. So we're working with 2 different furnishings companies right now to get the best price and the look that everybody kind of wants. And it's taken a little longer on the furnishings, but the main reasons are we've had to tweak the design slightly. It's still more the open floor plan and all of that we discussed originally. It's just more of the building, I guess, structural stuff that we're working through.
So is that
And that will-
project that, you're referring to included in these 32 projects that are processed?
No, those are all old projects that were open, like I said, since the mid '80s. So those are projects that, frankly, David Rogers inherited before Alan and I even started. And when Alan and I came on board, I think there was 4 or 5 left. So the Nordoff one is the only old open DSA sign off. And for some reason, DSA has it running concurrently with the library completion. So. The master plan, obviously this link takes everybody to the master plan, which discusses the the finances of each campus and all of the above, and you'll see that's where we have a 31.5 million allotted of the 35, and that's where we have a whole nother measure K that is set up as well, and that's where some of that crossing will come for the projects. Item C talks about the bond managers and the construction resources as opposed to hiring a firm to do it, which was the first way of doing it. And then the rest of this report discusses the oversight, the COC's roles, and the ed code talks about all of it that we need, that needs to happen to have a bond, basically. And then obviously ensures all the salaries and everything are being used just for the bond. And none of this is all stuff that changes or that stays on every single report, every single COC report, I should say. And then here's some of the background regarding how they initiated Balfour Beatty and then went to everybody. So.
And that's pretty boilerplate.
That's
Yeah.
very boilerplate.
Again, that stays on every COC report. It's a good background.
Question about your tenure on the board. They sent with those papers the application to apply again. Do you know, is our 2 years up and then we have to apply again to get 2 more years before we're permanently off?
That is a discussion item later on in the agenda 4.2, but the quick answer is yes, your term's up, and yes, you can reapply. But we can discuss that in
Yeah,
a few minutes.
That's in item 4
Yes,
on the agenda.
All right, jump the gun.
that's all right.
So just to be clear about the intent of this report, it just seems like it reports on the past projects, the total budget, and then the decision to hire in-house bond managers rather than a construction management firm. I'm just not familiar with typically what this report does. It just has kind of those 3 components. Is that the overall intent, is just to communicate about those issues, or not familiar with what the overall breadth might otherwise be in a report like this?
Yeah, I think the intent there, Heather, is sorry. It says Heather Larson on your.
Yeah, that's right. I use both Heather Larson and Heather Teufel. It's confusing.
But the intent is this is the COC's, the actual oversight report that goes to the community and says, we've looked at the audit report, we've looked at the means and methods, and we agree that things are going properly, with the money that's being spent from the bond, or something different. Maybe the committee says, no, we found something that doesn't look right, and you would report that here as well. Thankfully, we're not seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to remember that we don't have any role in deciding which projects are done or anything like that. We're just responsible, as far as I understand it, to make sure that money is not being spent for things that are not supposed to be spent under the bond statutes. So we don't get to pick and choose how the money's used.
But we'll listen to your input.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's true, but you'd listen to any citizen's input, right?
Right, right.
Absolutely, that's part of the role. We
Yeah.
have, we have the John Hook Memorial Handrail at Matillahoff for that reason.
That's right.
But if you remember, Bill, in the book Animal Farm, he says all animals are created equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
Exactly. Not just pointing that out, that, and this report basically says that we've looked at that and we found that the monies are being spent properly. And that's really a lot of that comes from the audit report.
Right, this report can pretty much include anything. The biggest things it does have, the main thing it has to include is the audit report.
Correct.
That's the most important piece that gets filed every year. And typically, once we take this to the board, the chair of the COC attends the board meeting as well, and gives any insight for the board that they would desire and can speak for the COC there. Frankly, anybody from the COC is obviously welcome to attend and speak on behalf of the COC. Typically, it is just the chair though.
I think you said it's better if we don't come to the board meeting. Did I hear that? That it was better to have one speaker?
I don't remember that. I'm a firm believer that you should get your voice out there.
So you do recommend we come?
John,
Yeah.
you'd be welcome to come.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I have the two corrections right here on the top on page 2 that I can make. But any other questions, comments, concerns?
If there's not, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the report with the caveat that Adam will make the 2 corrections he's indicated.
I'll second that, but there was also one other typo that was mentioned as well.
The typo that I mentioned, correct.
I got
There's
I'll
that.
second that.
I would actually just say that there was yet one other minor typo, a spacing typo. So just maybe need to go read through for a few things like that.
Perfect. I can do that.
Where is the space? Do you have that, Heather?
Yeah, if you can scroll up, it was just,
Section one is it needs a space between findings and committee.
yeah, it was a real simple, it was just a lack of a space there. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's in my dog right here.
Adam, do you see it?
Yeah, I do. I see this section 1. Yeah.
And the heading on section 1, it needs a space between findings and committee.
Yep. Right there.
Is that the one you meant, Heather? Great.
Got it.
Adam,
Yes.
Again,
would it be helpful if you had another set of eyes to read that over and get back to you with any typos? Because I can email you with any typos that I find later.
Always.
Okay, I'll send you an email and I'll read it over, and I'll send you an email with typos. And so,
Thanks.
so the second for that is assuming that all typos will be.
well, actually, we don't have a motion yet because I'm not making a motion. I was going to entertain a motion.
Oh, okay. So I would like to, I don't know how to say it. I'd like to put forth a motion to approve.
That's good. Subject to the corrections.
So yeah, subject to all typo corrections that are noted.
Do I hear a second?
Second the motion, John Hook.
All right. Roll call. Member Norris,
Aye.
Member Gooden,
Aye.
Member Burkett,
Aye.
Member Hook,
Aye.
Member Hooper,
Aye.
and Member Teufel.
Aye.
All right. Thank you for that. And Jen, thanks for offering to look at it. Obviously, Alan, Kathy, and I have all looked at it numerous times, and you go cross-eyed after a while.
Yeah, sometimes you look at it too many times and you don't see it anymore.
Absolutely.
I actually looked at it and came up with a couple, but obviously my proofreading isn't very good either. Let's move to item 4, a review of the ongoing bond projects. It's an informational item. Adam?
Yeah, so we have quite a few on the docket for the summer, stuff that was just approved. We have some roof repairs, obviously the last of the roofs. Hi, Cash. We have the roof repairs, the last of the Garland roofs, thankfully. We have San Antonio, Topa, and Nordhoff. And after that, every roof, with the exception of the tile roofs at Matilaha, are covered under Garland roofing warranties, which vary between 15 and 30 years. So not only do we have a nice long warranty, but it's with one company. Should we all depart, David's got one point of contact, which is ideal for operations as well.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. We have the libraries wrapping up, just a few minor punch items. We're doing a locker room refresh at Nordhoff as well. The locker rooms were just pretty beat up, just drywall and plumbing fixtures and stuff. And we're actually handling that in-house with our bond skilled maintenance worker, which is a huge cost savings. I don't need to tell you guys that, but it's an enormous cost savings for the bond and for the district. So that's exciting. We're working on a master plan for Nordhoff campus, which is great. And I know we asked about the pool at the last meeting. And so we are slowly creeping towards being able to get an RFP out for that. We're looking at window replacement. We're still working on the Miners Oaks Ventura County Library relocation to the Miners Oaks campus. The San Antonio parking lot is sufficiently complete. They're working on some punch list items as well. Alan's been pulling that contractor across the line. And we have the field restoration at Miramani, which is our first field restoration of all the elementary schools. And it's a pilot that, we came up with a design with the help of David Rogers, our grounds team, our maintenance team, the sites. We had input from Ojai AYSO. And so we are actually going to do a full field restoration at Miramani. Gopher fencing, a new decomposed granite track, new turf, and we're actually not only getting a better product, but we're taking the irrigated turf at that site. It's about 4 3/4 acres, so almost 5 acres, and we're reducing the irrigated turf by 55%, and we'll still have more than enough space for multiple soccer games, multiple baseball games, and the field use. So that's scheduled to kick off this summer as well. Assuming we like it.
What did they do about the Gophers? I remember my principal was constantly fighting the Gophers.
Alan actually has a lot of experience in that and came up with an idea.
Yeah, if you've seen the movie Caddyshack, there's Bill Murray in there who's like the Gopher
Yeah.
guy. I'm more like a couple levels above him. But a gopher fence is actually, think of it as chicken wire that is buried 18 inches in the ground adjacent to our perimeter fence and 6 inches above the ground. And the idea is that gophers don't dig down in the soil more than about 12 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So they're digging along from that meadow and decide that the grass on our side of the fence looks greener. They're digging along and they hit that chicken wire and they can't go through it. So then they come up to the surface and it's 6 inches higher than the ground. They can't climb over it. So it keeps new gophers outside of our fence. Now all we have to do is deal with the gophers that are inside our fence. And we have different methods for gassing them with a gopher machine and some things like that, so that we can terminate the gophers that are inside our property. Because if you think about it, all a gopher has time to do is eat and make more gophers. And so we just want to control the ones that are inside our fence and keep the other ones out.
Mhm.
Good plan.
And isn't it the case, has Miramonte's field been limited in use because of all the golfer holes? Haven't they had?
I would say, yeah, I would say all the fields are limited in use because of the Gophers.
Yeah, I thought it was specifically like they weren't using it because it was such a liability. Somebody mentioned they went to visit Miramonte and wound up at a private school, but they said that.
Part of it is the Gophers, and part of it is just surely the size. So being able to reduce it, we're doing a Gopher fence. We are doing a more of a natural landscape buffer. And then we have a 6-inch concrete curb, the DG track, another 6-inch curb before you even get to the playing fields. So there was a supervision issue at Miramonte just because the field is so big, it's 5 acres, that they would put a line and they couldn't go past the line of cones. And then obviously the Gophers are a huge concern. So we're testing. Sorry, go ahead, David.
Sorry, Adam, to add to that too. So we don't use rodenticides in the district. Our board, passed a resolution banning the use. So we have to take manual intervention means. And the truth is, things like Adam's saying, when you're using a perk machine and doing it manually, it takes a lot longer. So we have to reduce the size of those fields and stop them from getting in.
Yeah, as you know, a lot of our campuses, with Miramonte, Miners Oaks, San Antonio, they butt up to land conservancy or farmland, and it's a highway, and so trying to curb that'll help. And from a site supervision standpoint, it'll be more of a controlled area, and we'll still have space for two ball play fields, softball, baseball, either one, as well as multiple soccer fields, depending on the configuration. So it'll be a nicer area for not only the kids in school, but the community. And so we're going to test it there. We like it. It works well. We'll do a similar plan at all of the elementaries, which would be great for, again, the school and the community.
One of the concerns at Miramonte is that the southeast corner is eroding away, and the fence posts are kind of hanging in the air. So this project will also address the erosion in that corner and protect it for the future.
So some other projects that we're working on are obviously the Miners Oaks library refresh, the Matilaha library refresh. I mentioned multiple windows replacements. We're doing a district-wide door hardware replacement, which we're also handling in-house. And probably the biggest one, aside from the pool right now that we're working on, is the district-wide solar that Alan's been spearheading. And we did an RFP, multiple interviews with multiple solar companies. So.
Yeah, that's an exciting one. Adam, did you mention I didn't know if you heard, I don't remember if I heard it or not, the Topa Topa Electrical, which is also prepped for solar?
I did not mention that. That's a good one. We're doing a new electrical main. As you know, some of the stuff there is older. I think the panels are older than any of us. And so we're replacing those, and it'll get the campus solar ready as well. So all campuses are slated to receive solar. So we're still working on, we chose a company, and then we'll start designing everything. And that's an exciting project, not just from a energy standpoint and a cost savings for the operation, an annual cost savings, but it's an exciting project to be able to integrate some more shade for the kids as well. So it's good all around.
Do you have any idea yet what that type of project is going to run to? And what kind of savings you'll be able to get?
Yeah, I can tell you that. We're kind of just tongue in cheek looking at about $5 million for solar. We will be saving around $200,000 a year, and that will come off the top of the operational money. So that's a couple of teachers or more, maybe 2.5 teachers, something like that. So yeah, it's a substantial savings to the district on the operational side. There are some different things that can go on with with the way we construct it too. So for example, one of the things that SCE has is a program that allows you to overbuild at one site and then take a credit on the electrical charges or electric bill for a different site. So let's say that maybe a school is too small, like San Antonio or Summit, maybe too small to warrant the cost of putting in the solar panels because of the installation cost. But we could build a larger one at, say, Topa Topa, where we have lots of room, and then take a credit on our San Antonio and Summit bills.
Wow, neat.
Yeah, it's a really exciting project. So.
And just
The,
to confirm, is the RFP for that presumably posted on the district website?
It was on the solicitation portal, yes, which there's a link on the website to the portal, yes.
I didn't hear the mention of the combining the Miners Oaks Public Library with Miners Oaks School. Is that on the projects?
It is. We are working on it. We have a couple preliminary floor plans that we're bouncing around with between us and the county. But it is definitely full steam ahead, especially since the Miners Oaks Library has packed up and vacated their space. The county library in Miners Oaks has vacated their space. So they of course are very eager to get the ball rolling on the construction there.
Hey, Adam, I have a request for you. We're still on agenda item 4.1. Is that correct?
Correct.
I'm going to need a little synopsis of what you just went through. Is that possible?
Yeah.
I'm just not familiar enough with all the things you just ticked off, and I couldn't write that fast.
Absolutely.
So I would really appreciate that. In fact, any help anybody can give me, I'll pretty much follow the agenda to capture the minutes. And what I'll do, I'll send them out to a few folks to review, and please feel free to edit as necessary before we get a final cut. So yeah, thanks.
Sure. Yeah, Adam and I can put together a little update for you. That would be.
Yeah, it's
any other questions on upcoming, ongoing, all of the above projects? There's still a lot of stuff coming down the pike on Measure K, of course, aside from the biggies of the, pool, solar, all of that. We have a lot of exciting stuff. Classroom refreshes all around. We have the Matilaha gym foyer, which is desperately in need of some help. So Kara's nodding, yes, I know.
We had someone went like this on a window pane at the Dance Friday, like that, and it shattered. And I was like, I hope the foyer is going to be done soon.
Yeah, it's we've already met with one or two architects out there. It's a little, we could go a couple different ways, but Alan and I have always kind of erred on the side of, if we're going to do it, let's do it right, and let's do it, make it last, and not just swap out some windows and put some new flooring and plumbing in there. Let's really think of an idea that's not only going to help make it look better, but help the teachers. You know, the gym teachers constantly are in huge need of storage.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're working on all of those plans, but
Awesome.
yeah, it's desperately in need. So yeah, we have a lot of exciting stuff coming.
Okay,
Yeah,
are
no
there any other questions?
construction. Sure. Yeah, about behind Nordhoff. There was a lot of construction and so forth. Does that all get cleaned up?
Yes, it's in the process right now. Tony Baca has got some cleanup to do out there and grading, and there is still some leftover from the contractor that was on the quad. I've been addressing that with him this week to get some of his junk out of there as well.
And some of that dirt is ours, frankly. We had them dump it there because dirt is a valuable commodity around here. So.
That's right. The more dirt you have, the more you're worth.
Exactly.
If there are no other questions, let's move to 4.2, which is also an informational item.
So this goes to your question, John, about your terms. Since everybody signed up at the same time here, everybody's term is up after on June 30th, I believe it is, formally. Everybody is still eligible for another term. And we obviously would love to see you all return. If you have anybody else in mind that you'd like to recruit, by all means. And we will be forming the new COC shortly, and then we'll be setting probably in July or August, and then we'll set our meeting dates. It'll be very similar. I'm not sure if we're going to be meeting in person yet or not. That's TBD, but yeah, everybody is officially up on the 30th. But again, we thank you all for jumping in and helping out and taking on the COC, and we'd love to see you all back.
Thank you.
Anybody have questions? Yeah, thank you for your kind words.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions about that? You all have your applications, right?
Yes.
And I know
You're
Kathy's
gonna
out.
double your pay next term too.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Kathy's obviously, like I said, retired. So anybody who has an application, all of you, or if you know of anybody, absolutely send them my way. Send them to Alan or I, or both of us, and we'll make it happen, of course.
Kathy said she just got out of the hospital. Have we wished her well?
She had a rotator cuff surgery. Her first day of retirement. She retired Friday, and Monday she had rotator cuff surgery. So she's kicking it off right. And so last I heard yesterday that she was doing all right. She had this brace that she had to carry an ice chest with her, and it would circulate cold water to keep the swelling down for the first 24 hours. It was quite the contraption, but
she was so helpful when she was working.
she was amazing.
Was. And maybe we ought to, as a committee, put it in the minutes to express our appreciation.
Yeah.
Past 2 years, all that she did for us.
I mean, I was lost in cyberspace, and I called her, and she was just out of the hospital, fixed it. I said, "Oh my gosh, what a trooper!"
She's incredible. So yeah, we wish her well and a much deserved retirement. So
Right. And Daryl, could we put that in the minutes? That
Yes, sir.
Sir.
I got it.
Okay.
Yep.
The next item is future agenda items, although I guess we can put that on it, but if we're not the committee yet, I don't know what we can do about the future. Yes, Heather. Oh,
if there are any items though, whether you stay on or choose not to renew your term, definitely let me know. You can always again email Alan or I. If there's, I know, if you guys are if you're not on the committee and you're sitting at home and you just really want to watch the COC and you want something, definitely let us know.
Just a suggestion. I know I would be curious to hear if I were on the future committee, but what the process is for selecting the upcoming bond measure projects, how you guys scope those and select, prioritize what the projects will be with the funding would be good to hear. And something that I think we brought up in the past, I don't know if it was fully addressed, but was sort of a, just in the bid process, when a project goes out to bid, what the contractor originally bid versus any change orders and what their final construction price was. Sort of a typical thing in public contracting where they low bid and then they have change orders and the job comes in a lot higher. So some transparency around tracking that would be something that would be great to see in the sort of, future audit process, or at least to this committee.
Absolutely.
That's a really great point. I would imagine, I just, just hearing Heather talk about it, I'm just curious, would that be something normally addressed in the audit report? I mean, because that is very typical. I mean, I work with the federal government, so that's just par for the course.
I can speak to that. And it is a great point that you bring up. We are bound by law to keep change orders within 10% of the original contract price. And so we cannot exceed 10% either higher or lower. So if you remove scope from the thing let's say you awarded the contract and all of a sudden you said, well, gee, we decided not to do half of the project, you'd have to stop and rebid it. because it's not fair. Because let's say, for example, if you did that, maybe a contractor that could do half the project, but wasn't large enough to do the full project, you just excluded him from the chance to bid. So in order, a sense of fairness, you can't go more than 10% over or 10% under.
And being that we're working a year behind, we can certainly do that though. Like, hey, these 3 projects have been completed. This was the base bid. This was the total final cost. Whatever it might be.
So for the minutes, would just to capture Heather's first point about a future agenda item, should we include at least an explanation for future agenda item? Should I include any of this?
I
Yeah,
think a short synopsis of what the item is would be good.
I think both of those are good to include in the future agenda items. That's for sure.
Okay.
I would think a future agenda, I think one of the helpful things we did during the year was take our tour. And I think we ought to encourage the next committee, whoever it might be, to schedule a tour of projects that are ongoing. At least I found that very helpful.
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. Not only I think was it helpful, but we enjoyed showing off everything too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Folks, I have to jump off at 6:30. Just want to say thank you for letting me participate, and look forward to seeing you all in future iterations. So thank you.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, Heather, and
right.
I hope at some point in time we can meet in person.
I know, likewise.
Mhm.
Okay. Does
Any
anybody else
other-
have any future agenda items? If not, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all very much for participating.
Thank
And I look
you.
forward to seeing
Thank
you.
you. Do we know when the next one is?
No, we're gonna have to try
Okay.
to, once we have a committee, we'll have to try to schedule it.
Yeah,
So how many
Good.
openings are available?
all of them are open technically.
Oh, everybody.
Well, I know, but people that had to drop out and so forth, I seem to see about 2 or 3 openings beyond us.
Yeah, there's 2 openings, but technically as of June 30th, every one of them will be open. So,
Right.
If we want to stay on it, we reapply.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you can send that to Alan or I, or both.
Okay, thanks.
You wanna
Again,
make
meeting
that-
adjourned.
Thank
Jen?
Hey, Bill, you're doing a good job of running the meetings.
What were we gonna say, Jim?
Is there any way to make that super easy on all of us and email us the application?
Yeah, there's a link in the agenda for the application, actually.
Oh, okay, never mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.